Can we just pause for a second and acknowledge that this is the last Sunday in April already? Like April is basically, but also April has packed her bags. This quarter's moved by so fast. We are about to be in May, and I don't know about you, but this month has felt like one of those months where life was moving, God was speaking, opportunities were opening, emotions was coming up, and I had to stop asking myself, what is this season teaching me? Because April brought some things. April has brought joy, brought release, reflection, stretching, reminders, evidence. And honestly, April has brought me back to something that I think a lot of us need to return to, which is trusting ourselves again. And that's what I want to talk about in today's video. Because over this past week, I feel like I have been getting the same message from different directions, not not just one time, but and not just like a random thought, but repeatedly getting this message, and that is to trust yourself again. Build those small habits again. Pay attention to how your brain keeps reaching for comfort, even when your results are asking for something different. And I want to talk about that because sometimes the problem is not that we don't want a better result. Sometimes the problem is that our habits are still attached to the version of us that feels safe, familiar, and comfortable, right? But the results we are paying for require a different rhythm. So I want to talk about what April has taught me, how I'm closing out this month, and how I'm carrying into May, and why small habits may bridge, back to my self trust. And if you do not know me, hey y'all, I'm Dr. LaQuita J. I'm a public health pharmacist, pharmacy success strategist, and the founder of Pharmacy RPH. And here on this channel, we talk about mindset, we talk about resilience, pharmacy, Naplex preparation, career growth, and just really becoming the person who actually sustain the life, career, and the results you keep praying for. Okay? And this video conversation is personal, it's reflective, and it's practical because when I look back over in April, I can honestly say this one remind me that growth doesn't always come loudly. Sometimes growth comes in small confirmations. Sometimes it's like a good cry, you know, a new experience, watching people, and it it's realizing that when you wait a minute and we're just returning to the basics, okay? And let's talk about it. And one of the things that April has shown me is that trust is built through small evidence. The principle I want to start with is this, that you must rebuild trust by keeping small promises to yourself, not by making huge declarations all the time, not by even saying about I'm about to change my whole life by Monday. Um, Not overwhelming ourselves like a brand new routine, new schedule, new planner, new identity, all this stuff. Like it's not all at the once thing. I'm the self trust is through small evidence. It's built when we say, I'm going to wake up, for instance, I'm going to wake up and pray, and you go do it. When you build, say, I'm going to study for those who are preparing for the exam, I'm going to study for 45 minutes. You sit down and you study. Or you say, I'm going to go for a walk. And I don't feel like doing a whole body workout. I want to move my body. And you go for that walk. It's when you do what you said you was going to do. That's when self-trust comes in. And I think we underestimate the small moments, the power of those small moments. Every time you do something you said you were going to do, you give your brain evidence, your body evidence, your spirit evidence that you're going to do it. You're telling yourself, I believe I can do it again. And that really matters. Not because of us or not just tired of, we doing too much. We can't do so much. But it's almost like we holding a promise to ourselves. We're being intentional. We're being very intentional because a lot of times we're not being intentional. We keep telling ourselves we're going to study. I mean, we're going to start. We're going to be consistent, but we don't. And now it's the time like say, hey, no, I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do because that's what I said I was going to do. And those small moments, those really small moments of saying yes, not reneging on ourselves, and it gives us that confidence because life is always going to happen. Emotions, fears, fatigue, and before we know it, we're looking at another month asking, where did the time go? This is why the small habits matter. And the small habits are not just about rebuilding, and not just about rebuilding all the time. It's like it's going to help us sustain the overall goal. hmm And that's one of the things of me just learning the small habits. Also, what said with me is that my brain, your brain is always trying to reach comfort. It wants that safety, that predictability. Um, requires like the part of us that requires the least amount of resistance, and that's not always a bad thing because that's sometimes how we are wired, but our brain is trying to protect us and trying to conserve energy. But the problem is sometimes the comfort that your brain is reaching is the very thing that keeps you from the result you want. I know you be like, what? Yes. Because the results may be trying a different outcome, but the habits are still crying for comfort, right? Go. I want to pass an Naplex, but your habits may be saying, I want to avoid ID because it makes me feel uncomfortable. You want to build a business, but the habit may be saying, I want to keep tweaking behind the scenes because lunch makes me feel exposed. I want to be healthier. Everybody wants to be healthier, right? But you want to reach for what soothes you, the right now. It's those type of examples, those little things we say, um, and the habits. We have to change the habits to get to the end result. We have to slow down and ask ourselves, is this habit leading to the result I keep praying for? Or is this habit helping me stay comfortable? Because comfort is not always peace. Sometimes comfort is avoidance. We may be avoiding things that we don't want to do, procrastinating things, staying in a cycle that feels familiar even though it's very frustrating, giving that temporary relief, but you won't have that long-term regret, right? And in this season, I just think that God has been showing me that if I want different results, I have to be honest about the habits that are still trying to pull me back from what is familiar. And when I think about this month, I think about how much it gave me also. Not everything was loud. Some of it was very personal. One of the things, one of the things this month has reminded me of was the having the power outlets. Sometimes we don't even realize how much we're holding on to, how we're functioning, showing up, handling responsibilities, we're checking things off, being strong, but that doesn't mean we're releasing some things. And I'm telling you, whew, I just came from a cruise and I went parasailing. And it was an odd group, so I was up there by myself, which I didn't mind because I parasailed before. But baby, the cry, the cry I had let out, released. Oh my God, it was so needed. it made me realize how important release is. Sometimes we can't think our way through something. We actually need to release. We're trying to strategize something when our body just needs to process it. And we need to pause and let that emotion through us. I'm telling you, that cry was so good for me. And it just reminded me of sometimes that release you need is a cry. Crying is a release. And I needed that healthy space to do just that. That's mm, it was just so good. It was so good. It was so good. Especially to my high achieving women, the high achieving pharmacists, entrepreneurs, the people, you who are used to being the strong one. Uh-huh. Sometimes the breakthrough is not just another checklist. It's letting yourself be human. Okay. Okay. And also, as I said, I went on my first cruise. I went on my first cruise. It was fun. It was such a beautiful reminder that life is not just about um it, it reminded me that to live, to laugh, to pause, and to always try something new. It was definitely that. Oh, it was beautiful. And I'll even say too, in this season, giving yourself permission to still become and still going. And I think that is what I'm carrying into May. I'm using the phrase, yes, I may. I'm going to use that phrase. May is coming, and I want to be in my posture of, yes, I may rest. Yes, I may try again. Yes, I may trust myself. Yes, I may release what I've been carrying. Yes, I may start small. Yes, I may return to the basics. Yes, I may restart that old dream. Yes, I may choose discipline. Yes, I may choose joy. Yes, I may choose God. Yes, I may choose a version of myself that I keep seeing in my spirit. Okay? Because sometimes we are waiting for permission from everybody else when God has already given us permission to move. And even full circle moment. Um, another beautiful thing that happened this month. Even to sing Yes I May, I realized that what I do is like beyond Yes I May give myself permission to blossom for an RPH in the way that has not been seen. Because I'm a coach and I help people. You start off with helping someone. Most people come in at the point of passing the Naplex exam, but we go beyond that. I'm looking at how I had a previous client. Um, she came to speak to my current clients, but I look at how the different phases of her career I helped her with. We started with Naplex. We did. She already had it passed the exam, but if she wanted to get licensed at a new state, we did NPJE. And then she was interviewing for a position and trying how to brand and market herself for that position and prepare for the interview. It was just great. It's such a full circle moment. And just to see what we just didn't walk through the Nowplex journey, but MPJE support, career preparation, and she got the job. It was just so exciting. But it showed me too of yes, you may continue to build legacy. Because I never know how much work is going to come back like to me. Like I never know how encouragement is going to come back around, or I never know how the seed I planted in one season, it's going to show up in another season. And that's why this work I do always has a lifetime work. This work is about identity. It's about confidence. It's about trusting yourself again to make that decision. It's about the resilience. It's about watching someone become the person that they know who they are, to come in this, to walk into rooms, sit at the tables, and answer the questions, and be an advocate, lead, and not shrink. That what makes this coaching exciting for me, not just the content, the exam, and the strategies and all that good stuff, but the transformation I see clients have. This month in reflection is definitely has brought movement in forming the RPH. I hired someone. I feel like I got a person in a great position with the company, and I'm really excited about it because sometimes growth requires support, and I said like 40 RPH going to this next level, and some things I just can't carry anymore. I have to put a person in position for that. And talking about trust, hiring requires trust. It requires to delegate, requires trust, and building systems requires trust. And allowing someone else to support the vision that requires trust. And for entrepreneurs, especially those of us who are used to doing so much by ourselves, it's not always easy. But I had to learn, if I say I want to grow, I also want to build in a way that sustain my growth. So this month has reminded me that support is wisdom. Also, spiritually, with this month, getting back to the basics, I realized I have been fasting since December. But in April, I didn't fast as much. And I really felt the difference. I'm not condemning in no condemning way, but I'm not even beating myself up about it. But I just noticed how fasting had became a part of my rhythm, my discipline, my spiritual grounding, and how I was not consistent with it this month, and how it impacted me in different ways. And it really reminded me that certain habits are not just habits, they are anchors. They help me to hear clear. Sometimes it helps me to, just like those habits help me to move differently and just feel more spiritually aligned. And when I feel off, it's not like create a brand new life, brand new system routine. Sometimes going back to the basics, the prayer, fasting, making time, carving out time, and just making time for God. Definitely that. This month, and then I realized I had been going in order. I had my little list. It's like, but I'm just free flowing. We having a chit chat, okay? We having a little weekly chit chat, a little weekly FaceTime, okay? And this time I want to be a little bit more different. I want to really see what y'all like these type of videos. Comment below if you like this kind of video too. Because I have something coming up and I want to make sure you like it before I go like full throttle. Let me know. I don't mind it. But I want to make sure I see like how all this connects to my core work, So I help pharmacists pass the Naplex. And when I help in the way I teach is because Naplex prep is not just about having a big stack of material, buying a book, a quiz bank, watching videos, getting some type of cheat code. It's not even saying that you need to study more sometimes. It's about building a system that helps you to trust yourself again. Because many pharmacists who are preparing for the exam, especially if it's you or you retaking the exam, you're not dealing with sometimes content gaps. You're dealing with broken self-trust. And because the thing is, you studied before. You went to pharmacy school. you tried before, but it didn't work out in the way you hoped for. So it's one of those things of, okay. Sometimes when you try to study, your brain is seeking that comfort, and you may tell yourself you need to reread this chapter, um, write all the notes, avoid this calculation, skip this disease state because it makes you anxious. Wait till Monday, finding a resource, planning instead of practicing. But the result you want is asking for something different. The result you want is asking for structure, active recall. You actually, as I tell my clients, use our form method, use our score method to review. Is asking for endurance. Is asking for you to use a thing like a pharmacist framework and to be honest where you are. And I think that's what this one has taught me, to be honest where I am and how the importance of small habits do play a big part. They are not cute. They don't sound good. They they're not necessarily fun in the beginning, but you learn to grow, and you learn to grow from it. I'm grateful for this month. Um, I'm grateful seeing the impact I have. I'm even grateful for I'm even grateful for putting the final touches to my first book that I'll be giving to the world. I'm putting the final touches, like I'm having the first Naplex prep related product that I will be giving, offering to the public. Um, and I'm excited about that because I help I want to really help pharmacists with this book to not just give you more information, but give you how to move through the information. I'm really, really excited about it. So yes, it's taught me to be strict with my boundaries. When something don't feel right, just say it. Trust myself again. That is it. Trusting yourself again. In different areas too. And just know. hmm I'm proud of this month. I'm proud of trying new things. And do you like this? On this Good Success Sunday, I think this Success Sunday is dedicated to life and being life. Um, being life. Like I say, not being life, doing life. As to close out this month, lessons I'm taking with me is, one is to release is necessary. I cannot keep carrying everything and calling it strength. Sometimes I need to cry. I need to talk to people. I need to pray. I need to write. I need to move my body. Get that yucky energy out. I need to sit with mm, what I feel instead of rushing past it. This will remind me that release is not weakness, it's wisdom. And two, joy is very productive. My first cruise reminded me that joy really matters. Rest and fun and good girlfriends and experiences and just girl, releasing, honey. Um, I'm not here just to work, produce, serve, and achieve. I'm also here to live and pausing to live and going back to my quarterly living, quarterly ventures, I always say. Nonetheless, I learned that my work has a longer reach than I think. Seeing previous clients come back, speaking to current clients, get jobs. I sat on a panel with one of them that had a lifetime impact. It encouraged me because sometimes I'm planting seeds now that don't fully bloom till later. So I'm learning to keep planting and keep showing up and serving and doing the work with excellence. Another lesson is that support is part of growth. Hiring support for me, say I don't have to do it alone. The beginning years of Funding RPH, I was doing it alone. And my next level requires help. It requires more assistance and requires releasing control and allowing the right people to support the vision. Another lesson is that it's probably lesson 5. Returning to the basics. For me, fasting. Fasting has been one of my anchors. And when life feels noisy, I have to return back to what grounds me to give myself clarity, to help me hear God and trust myself again. And so, yeah. And I ask you, what did this month teach you? Not just what happened. What did it teach you? Did it teach you that you needed rest? Did it teach you that you needed discipline? Did it teach you you've been avoiding some things? What did it teach you? Are you stronger than you thought? Did it teach you to return to God? Did it teach you we have to start trusting ourselves again? Or did, like for me, the small habits are not optional? Because May is coming. And I don't want us to walk into May just to say, I hope things are different. Let's walk into this new month saying, what habits do I need to practice so I can become the person who can sustain the result I'm praying for? That's the question. Because our brain wants that comfort, but our future is asking for commitment. Our assignment is asking for faith. Our next level is asking for action. It's asking. So as we close out this month, give yourself permission to reflect without shame. Look at what worked. What did not? What gave you joy? What drained you? What did you need to release? Look at what you need to return to. And just choose one small habit that helps you trust yourself again. Not 10, just one. One promise, one rhythm, one decision, one goal. One area where you say, I'm going to show myself that I can believe in me again. Because self-trust is rebuilt in not one big moment, but the small moments where we choose alignment over comfort. And as we step into this month, I want you to carry this with you. Yes, I may. Yes, I may begin again. Yes, I may trust myself again. Yes, I may return to the basics. Yes, I may figure it out. why I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Yes, I may have been carrying this. Yeah, release what I've been carrying. Yes, I may have to cry it out. Yes, I may become the pharmacist, the woman, the man, the leader, the coach, the believer, the person God has called me to be. Yes, I may do it one habit at a time. And if this video has resonated with you, comment below and tell me, what did this month teach you? And if you are preparing for the Naplex, make sure you stay connected to our email list. I'm putting the final touches on this math book. It'll be open to the public very soon. And if you're on my email list and you've already started reaping some benefits and bonuses already, I'm really excited to releasing my Naplex related public book. This, like I say, public facing book. I'm really excited about this. Something I just haven't done. But I think I hold y'all on way longer than ever. Until next time, remember that pharmacist, I'm gonna live you are, and go be great. And I'll talk to you guys later.